Hey guys, we got a special treat for you today. We're going to show you the second house I ever built. Our mascot that we normally have out in the front that everybody knows, the classic red cabin, was followed up by this one. Mascot was 10 by 16. This is 10 by 17. We went bigger. Figured we had to have more space for the ladies. As you can notice on this one, instead of being rustic, we have some really nice ornamentation on the outside. All the trim on this one is classic Victorian. Even the doors, as you'll see here, we've got the classic Victorian stained glass. This is a stationary window, also stained glass, and there's a story behind that window we'll show you in a minute. This house is actually quite comfortable. I personally lived in this house, the first house of my creations that I lived in. In house art, this would be considered one of the primitive art pieces in which I was learning how to do space design, space magic. Space magic is when you take and transform something. Here you're going to see this as our first with a loft house, kitchenette, and a bathroom finally being finished. In the beginning, I created a ladder to be able to get upstairs and downstairs. The reason I created this was so that people would be able to go ahead and access our lofts. And in a conventional state of mind, designing with how we do it nowadays, 8 foot is the height you make everything. So I made my loft at 8 foot. There wasn't really a good reason for it, but that was the standard. Now you'll notice these windows are 9/1s. That means a 9 pane over 1 pane. 9 pane over 1 pane. This is the first set of windows I ever went out and got when I started my architectural antiques business in the 1990s. I was driving back from Missouri through Arkansas, and I saw a house we drove by every week, and they were tearing it down. I mean, every time I went to Missouri for vacation. It was on the corner, right as you leave Arkansas. And I said, hey, what are you going to do with those windows? Oh, we're throwing all that shit away. I said, can I buy them? He said, yeah. I said, how much? $30 a piece. $30 a piece for these ones. They're all wood, all the trim, everything. I got all that. But they were in Arkansas, and I had to go back to Texas. So I went all the way back to Texas, went out and rented me a big old van truck with a box on it, $750, and drove all the way back to the north side of Arkansas and spent a day pulling out windows and stacking them up in this truck and then driving all the way back to Texas. And it cost a whole lot of damn money, took a whole lot of time. It was my first lesson in why you don't take things from so far away. But they're beautiful windows, and this house was an example of how we could reuse that. One of the first cases of me doing that. In the ceilings, we actually planed off the paint off the old beadboard. This is a single beadboard. It dates back into the 1890s, and really unusual. The siding that you see on top here, this interior is a shiplap. And we were using latex paint at the time, so it's all outgassed now, but we no longer use latex paint. The bottom, again, we planed the beadboard, and it's a double beaded beadboard. So everything in here has a lot of detail. Even right here, you've got the same beads in here with a little bullseye at the top. And what that allows you to do is to get this design consistent. In the early days, when I was building these, we went with this idea of using just a wall unit. And it's a really good idea in the sense that it's small, it's easy to replace. The only problem is it's a little noisy. But my goodness, if your system goes down, $300. You can hardly fix a modern air conditioning system for $300. And even if you get one of the new systems that's called a ductless system, which I use now, shoot, you start off with $1.5 grand, $2 grand for your cost. So I highly recommend going ahead and using the window units if you're going to build a house for efficiency. Now, on heating, oddly enough, right here, that's a little ceramic wall heater. And that little puppy right there uses 400 watts, and 2 of those will heat this place up very nicely most of the winter time. And if you need a supplement at that point, you bring in a little $50 ceramic heater and you supplement with that. Now people go out and buy themselves heat pumps and all the other, spend extra money to do it in with the air conditioner, which is not designed to heat. And you'll spend a lot more money on both the cost to heat, and if it breaks, you'll spend more money. These cost you about $75 a piece. And a regular small heater costs about $75. I highly recommend doing that with small houses. And in this one, it's worked out really well. A ceiling fan is great. It moves the air around. It gets the air from down here to up there. And you really, in the summertime or in the wintertime when you're up there sleeping at night, that makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference. But positioning it is really important. On the mascot, I positioned it in the center of the room like a normal person would do when they design things. But when you come out of the loft, you'll smack yourself in the side of the head. This one's not far off from that. Now, in this case, you can actually have a twin bed down here. We've had several different layouts over the years, but the bed could go this way. It can also go this way, which gives you a little more room in here, Then this slides over a little bit. You can have a little desk over here. We've had a number of layouts over the years. But in the end, for me, I never had a bed downstairs. I always used the loft. This is for the B&B operation. But if you were to go ahead and live here, you don't need this down here. Upstairs. Don't worry, the ladder's not going anywhere. This is a sturdy ladder. I built this because I had originally planned to use antique ladders. And they wouldn't hold up. Modern man. Some of the guys are 300, 400 pounds, and they'd just about tear up my old ladders. So this is designed now. You can see most of the reasons I decided to change my designs. But it's cozy, but I'm about 6'1". And you may notice in my other houses over the years, I've been able to stand up in my other houses. This is one of the reasons. This is really a cute house. Now, he lived in here, and at 6'4", he managed to do very fine in here. And with the girlfriend at 6 foot, they both did very fine in here. So, trust me, it's not a problem. But I got size 14 feet. Now, you can see a problem over here at this end of the bed. If you position the bed like this, so I generally try to position the bed going this way. And I got little feet. Now, this way, if you're sleeping like this, just something about this. So I tend to also want to have my head out here in the open. So I always put the bed this way. This is just to show you some of the options. There's a window up here. I tend to not use a lot of air conditioning, so that window was huge for me. That window allowed me to get airflow up here. And it was also the beginnings of some understandings of how air flows in a house. So I use the Venturi effect to cool the house naturally. And that means the air from below comes up and exhausts through here, and it rolls right across your body when you're sleeping at night. And that's a really nice feature. Overall, again, my new designs have bigger lofts, but the beauty of this house is that it is a rare, one of a kind, second I ever built, collectible that you can live in. Art houses that you can live in my opinion, have more value than a picture on the wall, or a vase, or any other form of art. And the beauty of it is, you can't just whip up another one and make a copy of something that is designed around all unique pieces. The beauty of salvage building is that when you finish your house, nobody's ever going to have one just exactly like it. And to me, that's very important. Let's go on down and look at the kitchen. Oh yes, this ladder has a little handle up here. This is so you can go to come off here, you got something to grab onto. That's real important. And also, for anybody that buys this house, I'm throwing in a pee bottle, free. This is what keeps you from coming up and down 3 times a night when you're in your 50s and 60s. And this is a big mouth bottle. That means that women, we didn't forget you here. All night long, just in case you don't have to go down. Now I'll assure you, you cannot get down the stairs like this. I've tried it. It don't work. Okay, so rather than get stuck up here at night, solution, and if you can't get down steady, look at that. Now, I must note, pee is actually one of the most beneficial things for your yard, your garden, anything else. It has actually a huge amount of nitrogen in it. They're using it in the Northeast now, collecting pee at the curb, and rather than use fertilizers, they're using pee. They're actually pasteurizing it. So we actually consider this to be valuable. And you can use it to get rid of athlete's foot, you can use it to get rid of dandruff, you can use it to get rid of all sorts of infections and bug bites and all sorts of things like that. Besides the fact you can use it in your garden. So consider this gold liquid that comes out of here at night. Gold. All the antibacterial agents, antimicrobial agents, and antifungal agents you need to cure most of the diseases on the surface of your body, as well as on the inside, ear infections, eye infections, etc. It's been around for 5,000 years. So this little bottle up here is actually symbolic of, again, planting the seeds of alternative ways of thinking about the way we live. Body, mind, spirit, and home. So, I throw in this free pee bottle. But again, I hope to plant the seed to think about the value of it. And don't just think about it as something you have to flush down the toilet. Now, down to the kitchen. Gee, this is live, guys. You can't erase this. Isn't that something else? Now, Normally we don't have a compressor in the aisle, but today is special. The kitchenette here, one of the first ones we designed, we could have more shelves in here. If you're going to live in it full time, I'd have more shelves in here because I'd have other plates and stuff. This is really designed just for an occasional staying over and stuff like that for the moment. And then this little feature out here gives some drawers and storage. There's a little refrigerator on the bottom. Oh, it's this very sharp tile right here on the floor. Just got my ankle. Now, we're going to go inside here. The bathroom, in this case, is designed so when you open it, you don't see anybody on the commode. In this case, there's somebody in there doing the shower, and that would be Larry. There's Larry. Okay. We have a light switch out here. Look at that. Okay. And in here, you can see one of the early sinks. This is a cast iron sink. Keep in mind, folks, we save more energy by not mining and smelting the iron to make this sink, and then to put it in and make porcelain on it at 2400 degrees to put a coat of porcelain on. This has several coats on this. We save more energy by not doing that and making the faucets than this house will consume to heat and cool it in probably 25 years. This is not easy to pull iron out of the ground and convert it into iron, from iron ore to iron, etc. Here's another one of those ceramic heaters. This one's been in here, my goodness, 7 or 8 years. Got a slight crack in it, still functions exceptionally well. Oh, it's been in there 10, 12? My goodness, 12 years.
Wow.
For $50. Now, anytime you can get a heater, no fan to wear out or anything else. It works on just air flowing over it and the gap behind it. When you can buy a heater that'll last you 12 years for $50 and uses only 400 watts of power, it's like 4 100-watt light bulbs, that's incredible. Now, you're going to be able to see this later because this is going to be hard to see. We're going to show you the showers being created, and also, you're going to have that underlay behind that.
Yeah, I thought.
Also the sink and bathroom. It's very small. We come up with other ideas later on how to make it bigger. One of them is don't make a wall 4.5 inches thick inside of a tiny house. In this case, 5.5 inches thick. Instead, now we make it 1 inch thick, and you free up 4 cubic inches per square foot. And in fact, we may come back in later and add some more shelving here just for that reason. Okay, so I'm going to get out of the bathroom. You can get to see it, but it gives you a pretty good idea of the whole place, and frankly, quite comfy. Everybody stays in it and loves it. Let me get out of the way here. Okay. As you come out of here, you're going to get to kind of see the flavor of the place from the other view. I'm going to close the door here. You can see some color. Come on out, Paul. There we go. Now, would you believe this house is being offered up at a low price? Because what we're going to do is we're going to lease it back for 10 years, and I'm going to pay somebody a dividend of 10% of their original investment quarterly. That pays for a lot of stuff, as opposed to sitting in the bank at 0.05% interest. If somebody invests and has something, a piece of house art like this, that we're then able to let other people stay in and experience, they'll be able to go ahead and depreciate it off as an asset, a performing asset that appreciates over time, and they will be able to go ahead and use it 30 days a year. Now that means you get to come out here and go into the caverns and get to the mud, you get to go up on the mountain, you get to come to the events. We'll have music events, we'll have some film festivals, the Halloween thing coming in the fall. There's just so many things you'll be able to come here for. You probably want to use it for more than 30 days. But the idea is to give some people a chance to be part of this. I'm wanting people that want to help us out, join us, benefit from it. It's a really good offer. Generous. We take care of the house, we pay the taxes on the house, and you get an income off the house, you get to use the house, other people get to experience it, you get to see a journal continue to fill up with all sorts of good stuff written about it. And ultimately, the best part about this is, you own the house the whole time. It's not just a piece of paper that says you have money in the bank. So, what did we ask on this one? This is
25,000.
25 on this one. 25,000, and actually you better hurry. I'm going to change my mind and raise it up because the others sold so fast. And really, the people we got here were so great. But it's an incredible opportunity. I'd love to see the right person come along, join us, and if possible, come out and be part of this. Help build houses, help build a market, help do your art. And when you're here on weekends in your vendor space, your studio space, stay here. Hey, thanks a lot for joining us. I hope somebody that really wants to be part of a pure salvage living renaissance would join us, invest, instead of having it in a retirement fund. Let's make you money. Let's show you how to get out of the matrix and help us grow things, make our ponds wonderful, create a market, and have some fun. Thanks. Okay.